Good morning. Let me show you what we're doing today. We are canning fresh peaches. Let's get moving. So now I'm scoring the peaches on the bottom, not too deep, and preparing the boiled water so that I can take the peels off of the peaches. This is just a little over 8 pounds of peaches. Once the water is boiled, you leave the peaches in the boiling water for about 3 minutes, longer than you would a tomato. And then you are able to take the peels off, the skin off, really easily. And I plan on doing something else with the skins. And parts like this you would cut off, like right now. Give me a minute. Yeah, you would cut, you cut stuff like that off. Let's see. Yeah, just a little brown part. Sorry, trying to get it in the camera. I saw a video from Becoming a Farm Girl. Very nice lady. And her video is actually over 4 years old. But she took the peach skins and dehydrated them and made a peach sugar. And I'm going to do that too. So it's either given to the chickens, which the chickens eat just fine, or do something else with the peach skins. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, let me keep pushing. Okay, so right now I'm bringing a pot of water to a rolling boil so that I can blanch the peaches that I already scored. And also I'm boiling 2 quarts of water so that I can make the syrup to can the peaches. So you're supposed to make 2 quarts of water to 1 cup of sugar. Now, I looked up how to make the syrup, and everywhere I see this is a liquid measure. However, that people have been measuring 1 cup of sugar in a liquid measure. So that's what I'm going to use. And most likely because you want to make sure that the syrup is sweet when you put it in there. So I'm just going to follow that recipe. Some people, like Becoming a Farm Girl, uses brown sugar and vanilla extract and maple, and she uses that's how she cans her peaches. So that's what I'm doing now, and I'm doing this at the same time because a lot of people said let the syrup be liquid cool before you pour them into the jars. And right now my jars are sanitizing in the dishwasher. I have about 63 minutes to go, so most of the time I sanitize my jars, lids, and bands in the dishwasher. Last time I canned, I did do the lids and bands, and I sanitized them in boiling water in a pot on the stove. I didn't feel like doing that today, and I've been wasting a lot of pots and stuff trying to find the right sizes to use. So I put them all in the dishwasher and I'm letting them sanitize. So this water is almost at a rolling boil. Also, I'm using this big container for cold water. Once I finish taking the peaches out of the water, put them in here, and then deskin them. And then I'm also going to get a container and I'm going to dehydrate the skin. So got a lot going on. I started around 6 a.m. It's 7:40 right now. I will eventually get out in the yard and do a little bit, but that'll be later today. So I'm hoping I will be done by 12. That's what I'm hoping, so that I can rest and I can listen to my Kingdom Hall meeting on Zoom at 1:30 and then get on outside and do some things later. So let me start blanching these peaches. Okay, so we're making good time this morning. Let me show you where we are. The peaches have been blanched and peeled. Those are the peels that I'm going to dehydrate later. Yeah, later. Now what I'm going to do is cut the peaches into 4 or 5ths so that we can use them for peach cobbler. Another correction, you want to blanch the peaches for about a minute, maybe a little over a minute. You don't want to do it for 3 minutes. Sorry about that, because you don't want to cook the peaches. You just want to get the skin loose so that you can peel it off. Also, a lot of recipes say to use pit-free or cling-free so that the peach pit could come off. I doubt these are cling or pit-free, but I'm going to try my best to go ahead, cut them up as neatly as possible. And yeah, so that we can start canning peaches. The syrup is already made. It's warm. It's sitting there. It's cooling off. I actually took 2 good spoonfuls of fresh honey because I always buy fresh honey. That comes in jars that look like this because we have a beekeeper around here. And I scooped that into the syrup too, and I just stirred and stirred and stirred until everything dissolved. Another side note, 2 of my elders came over about 2 weekends ago, and coming to find out, one of the elders said, "Oh, Precious, you garden, you'll appreciate this." He's a beekeeper. He's helping a lady that has like 50 or 60 beehives, and he has some on his property. And I looked at him and I was like, "I would love some honey." He was like, "I'll bring you some." So he brought me some fresh honey and put it in this jar right here. And if he wants me to pay for it, I will pay for it. He said, "Maybe you can keep some bees here." I said, "If I didn't have Mom or my neighbors, I would definitely keep a couple of her beehives here, but I don't have the room and it gets a little noisy, especially with this back street. So if I had acres of land, I would definitely keep bees." So yeah, I just found me a new supply of fresh honey. Sorry. And I'm really excited about that. Okay, so I've already sanitized my hands. Let me go to cutting the peaches. This is going to be a little tougher than I thought, so I'll do the peaches first and then I'll show you. Okay, so I finally cut all the peaches. What I did was I scored the peaches into 6 pieces, and then I took the knife and I came around the top, and as I did that, they just started coming off. So it worked out pretty good. I did not realize I was going to get as many peaches as I did, and I only sanitized 8 jars. But when my mother saw me canning, but she knew I was going to can, she was like, "Can we use those peaches for peach cobbler?" And I was like, "Yes, that's why I'm canning them for you, so you can have fresh peaches." She was like, "Oh, good." I said, "Do you want me to leave some peaches out?" And she says, "Yes." So we might be getting some fresh peach cobbler this weekend. So let me show you the peaches. There they are. Those are the skins. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with those a little bit later. But those are the peaches. The jars have finished sanitizing. They went off as I was just doing the last peach, which means they're nice and steamy hot in the dishwasher along with the lids. The water is boiling in the water bath canner. I have it on super high. So hopefully by the time I finish canning, putting the peaches in there, they can sit there for a minute, and then I can put them on the wire tray and then drop them in the boiling water. Okay, so I had to use this to take my jars out of the dishwasher because they are so hot right now. So now I'm going to start packing the peaches into, I have 7 pint jars. that's what I'm going to pack. Whatever I have left, I'm going to put in the refrigerator in a bag, and then ask my mom if she's going to make peach cobbler today. If she doesn't make it today, I'm going to take the bag of peaches and put it in the freezer. Okay, let's get started. FYI, when packing jars, you usually don't want to use metal. I'm not scraping the fork on the jars. I'm kind of just pushing down the peaches a little bit more. I actually probably should have sanitized more jars, but at this point, it is what it is. And when I'm done, I'll probably have a good amount of peaches left in a container that my mom can just go ahead and create, make a peach cobbler. There's one thing I wanted to tell you about canning like light peaches or light fruit is that you may want to, well, I put mine in water and lime juice and let them sit there so they don't turn brown. So the reason why I had stopped the video before so abruptly is because I had so much of that water and lime in the jars that I drained it, because you want to drain that out to keep it from turning brown, but now it's been coated. If you don't do that, you can use what is called a fresh fruit protector from Ball, and you want to pre-make this. You want to use 3 full tablespoons from, let me read it here, 2 quarts of water in a large bowl, and you want to mix that together, and then you put all your fruit in that mixture till you're ready to use it, just like I did with the water and lemon, and then drain the fruit before filling the jars and packing. So I just did the same thing. I just didn't use this Ball fruit protector. Okay, so I wanted to mention that. I did drain them as best I could. There's still like a little water and lemon at the bottom, but now I'm going to go ahead and start filling the jars with the syrup that I made. Now that I have packed the jars, because you do want to pack your jars with the peaches and then ladle the light syrup over it. As you're ladling it, you'll hear the syrup going down with bubbles. And so that's why you saw me kept going back over some of the jars with the syrup to make sure it's packed really good. And you're supposed to leave a ½ inch headspace for the peaches. Now I'm going to take a little bit of vinegar and a paper towel, and I'm going to wipe the top of the rims because they're a little sticky, especially since I poured out some of that lemon water that I had the peaches sitting in. So let me get to that. So now I'm taking the sanitized lids and putting them on top of the jar. That's why you want to clean the top of the jar, because once you put the lids on, you want to make sure you have a good solid seal when you water bath can your food. So you want to clean that off, make sure there's no nicks or anything like that. And because I had drained that water out, I did have a little bit of like peach residue on there, so I wanted to make sure that was sanitized and ready to go. Sorry, I thought I was videotaping me do the lids and the video wasn't on. So what I did was take the lids using this magnet and put them on top. You do that because you want to prevent like bacteria. Even though my hands are sanitized, your hands still get dirty, so you want to put them on top of there. Then I put the lids, the bands on top, finger tight. So I apologize, I thought my camera was on and it was not on. So right now I'm just waiting for the water to finish boiling. Some people drop their jars down in there while the water's just hot and then bring it to a boil. I like it to start boiling first, so that way my time starts right away. Since I'm using pint jars and not quarts, they're going to process in a water bath canner for 25 minutes. If I were using quarts, they will process for 30 minutes. Then after that, once they're done, that's why I want my time to start right away, because I want that 25 minutes to start. Once they're done, I turn the water off and I let the jars rest for 5 minutes. And oh, I'm doing stuff here. I almost dropped my lid. And then I pull the cans out. I put a kitchen cloth on the counter, and then I sit the jars on top of them, and then let them rest for a minimum of, I think it's like 12 hours, but I'll let them rest there until morning, and then you'll hear that clicking and they're popping. But I'll show you that as soon as the water starts boiling, I will lower the jars down in the canner. So while the water bath canner is boiling, the water's getting hot, I am going to start transferring these peaches into this bowl here and pour the syrup in there. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, now we're going to put the jars in the canner. I'm a little bit clumsy, but here we go. Water bath canner. Woo-hoo. And they still slide. Ah! Go on down in there. I tell you. Ay, ay, ay. Let's put the timer on for 25 minutes. put the lid on. They're in the canner. So I have put the remainder of the peaches in a bowl with the light syrup sauce. I have 2 jars left of the light syrup sauce because I have a couple of bags of apples that I want to can next, but I'm not going to can them today. I actually purchased me really cheaply one of those peelers that you can do this instead of me hand peeling all the apples. Yeah, I should have did that a long time ago, and it slices them and all that stuff. So I did that. I'm waiting for that to come, and I'll probably be doing that next Friday if the apples last that long. We'll see. I'll check them. So I already have the syrup for the apples. The syrup, again, I used 2 quarts of water. I used a liquid measure cup of sugar, and I just took 2 big scoops of fresh honey and heated it up and stirred it till it all dissolved in there, and that's how I made the light syrup. So now we just have 23 minutes and 45 seconds for those jars to finish. In the meanwhile, I'm going to be preparing my dehydrator to dehydrate the peach skins and clean the remaining of the dishes. I've already cleaned most of the dishes and kind of cleaned up, but clean up a little bit more and then start dehydrating the peach skins. So I have taken the jars of peaches out of the canner, and let me show you. I forgot to put a little bit of vinegar in the water. So now we see that hard water residue, but that will wipe off. So now I'm just waiting for the jars to start clicking, the lids to start popping in or sucking in, and it'll make a click sound. But now they're going to sit here for 12 hours. They're going to sit here till tomorrow morning, period. I'm not going to move them. But yeah, the jars of peaches are done. So now I'm taking the peach skins and putting them on my dehydrator trays, and then I'm going to put these in the dehydrator until they get crisp and brittle to where I can grind them up and mix them with some granulated sugar. And then you have some peach sugar. This is 5 trays. I already put 1 tray in the dehydrator already. And you can use this sugar on top of your oatmeal. You can make you some peach tea and then add this. So now it's time to put them in the dehydrator. So there is no instructions on how to dehydrate skins in the manual or my dehydrating book. So I'm just going to set the time. I'm going to set it for, I'm going to do 6 hours, and it's already at the highest Fahrenheit there, and that's it. That's how you dehydrate peach skins. Okay, so that is it for now. Once that's done, I will grind up the peach skins and mix it with granulated sugar, and then I'll have my peach sugar. I will be canning apples. I think I got the Honeycrisp apples. I got like 2 big bags, 2 or 3 big bags. And I'm going to be dehydrating those, and I'm going to keep those skins and I'm going to make some apple sugar. So again, the theme for my year is no waste, or as less waste as possible. And so I'm trying to use everything that we eat. Next year, when I do the tomatoes, I'm going to keep those skins, and I did see that someone dehydrated them, or they used a dry freezer and then they grind them up and they made like a tomato paste, or just saved it to use for soups and stuff like that. And I felt that that was a great idea, instead of getting rid of your skins, or give them to your chickens if you have chickens. But next year when I grow my tomatoes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try it. So that is it for now. I will come back when the skins are fully dehydrated. I have not eaten. It is 11:05 in the morning. So remember, my goal was to be done by noon. It is 11:05. I am going to sit and eat and relax and enjoy the rest of this day. Okay, see you in a bit. Everybody, I'm out in the garden. A little windy out here. Not too bad. I had to put the tunnels back up on the lettuce because whether it's the possum, the squirrel, or the rat, they were having a field day. And the seedlings, it didn't look like they got to the little seedlings that are in there, but I couldn't take a chance. So yeah, I put the tunnels back up and I zipped them up. Now, one time I came up here and the tunnels were off. They had crawled through them because I had left them unzipped. But yeah, I put the tunnels back up, which concerns me because now I have my seedlings out here, and I don't want them getting to my seedlings, but I don't want them eating up all my lettuce either. So I have a choice I have to make. I'm checking everything every day. I'm gonna have to take an hour or two and start spraying the beds that I already cleaned the grubs out of with neem oil. Start spraying them real good to clean any grubs, and hopefully get some of the seedlings down in the garden beds in the middle of the week. So yeah, I'm gonna have to try my best to do that as soon as possible. So the peach skins are still dehydrating in the dehydrator, and I had my spiritual meeting at 1 o'clock, fed the chickens, had ate a couple of times, and now I'm going in the house. And once those peach skins are finished, I will show you how I'm going to grind them up and mix them with granulated sugar and then have peach sugar. Okay, let me get back in the house. Okay, so it is 7 o'clock in the evening. Just got through listening to watching Miss T-Nog, and I have finished dehydrating the peach skins. So now we're gonna grind them up. Okay, so I've gotten all of the dried peach skins out of the dehydrator, and I'm going to try to put them in a food processor first to see if it'll grind it up really good. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to pull out the coffee grinder and do it. Only thing about the coffee grinder is trying to clean it afterwards is a pain in a Watusi. So it's much easier for me to clean out the bigger food processor, and I actually have one bigger than this one, and see if it'll grind it, you know, to clean it. I'm sorry, let me start over. It's much easier for me to clean out the food processor because I can take everything apart. The grinder, I can take it apart, but it's small and it's intricate, and it takes me a little time to clean it. So let's try the food processor first. it's chopping it up, but it's not grinding it. But I just remember I have my NutriBullet up there. That might work better than a coffee grinder. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to try the NutriBullet. That did it. Let's get this done. Okay, so that is all the skins. And now I'm going to mix it together with a couple of maybe teaspoons of sugar and put it in a little container, and we'll have peach sugar. Okay, so here is my peach sugar mixed in well. All I have to do now is just label it and we're done. Oh, and I gotta wash out the food processor and the NutriBullet and kind of sweep. Got some stuff on the floor. But that is the end of this video. Yay! I'm so happy we did this. I am trying my best to use less waste, not waste so much. And I think this is a good example of how to use mostly everything when you're preserving food. So yeah, I think I did pretty good today. So like I always say, please find peace within yourself and please be peaceable with everyone around you. I love you all. Have a fantastic Sunday evening and please get rest. And if you do have a job, go into your day, try to think positive and keep a peace just peace and joy in your mind. I love you all. Have a fantastic evening. Bye.